Hey there. Welcome to the 3 powerful things you must know to take charge of your life and attain personal freedom. Thanks for joining me, and today I'm going to be teaching you what those 3 things are and how knowing them will unlock the mysteries of how you make changes in your life simply and sustainably. I'm Tanya Diamond, and I'm known as the most bold, revolutionary master life strategist in the world, and that's not really important compared to what I'm committed to. I'm dedicated to getting you unstuck in life, love, and money. And for the past several decades and more than 15,000 plus hours of coaching, I've been honored to do just that for thousands of people. Here's what we're going to learn with me today. We're going to learn how to decrease overwhelm with 2 simple steps. You're going to learn how to avoid internal conflict and suffering, and why you are not your behaviors. So why is this important to you now? Well, most of what you've learned in empowerment workshops and read in self-help books and taken in other programs just doesn't work because it's based on only one aspect of a problem. But you already know that or you wouldn't be here. I know you've probably spent tons of money and time, and you might still even be working on the next area to clear or process or move, and you're wondering, will I ever get to emotional health? Well, the problem with niche approach to personal freedom is you'd run out of time and money before you'd ever get it all done. And let's face it, having to spend your resources on workshops just to get the high and the good feeling only to have it crash a few days later is not sustainable change. If the old way that's being done has worked, you would not still be looking for results. So is this for you? Well, if you really want to get to the bottom of the things that are holding you back and finally stop the self-sabotaging and finally stop the endless cycle of wasting time and resources or searching for the answer, then yes, this is. And this is also something for you if you feel like you're holding back and you want to break free, if you want to experience a sustainable sense of well-being and leave self-doubt behind, and you want to not waste another minute being less than who you truly are. So before we go any further, here are some house rules. Okay, number 1. This is no pie in the sky kind of program that you don't have to commit to and just somehow because you take it, you're going to automatically be okay. That's not how this works. There's no woo-woo hocus pocus, do a bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense, that kind of thing. So if you're somebody looking for that, not going to work here. You're not going to be spending endless time poring over difficult things to follow. So if you're really into how to make things difficult for yourself, no, it's not going to work. And there's no experimental processes. This is really proven. It's a system that works, but you have to be able to work it. So if you're also somebody who is not interested in doing anything or willing to follow protocols, then yeah, that's not going to work for you. All right, but I have a confession, because I do have an advantage over most people. I put at least 90% into every single thing I do, and I have a lot of dedication when I do stuff. So to be fair, most people won't work as hard or be as committed, and so they're not going to get the same extraordinary results that I do from following something like this. Yeah, and you're probably thinking, I get it. You were born an overachiever, you're from a great family, you had a life that supported you going after your dreams. No. Have you ever tried to overcome your past and feel excited about yourself and your decisions, be proud of your successes, take courageous actions, and live passionately? I know how you feel, because I was right there too. Those were my dreams. I had the same dreams, and I was stuck, just wishing for them to come true. I had no idea how to make it happen. So our stories are probably pretty similar. You know, my story is I came from a dysfunctional family, kind of okay, at this point, who hasn't, who didn't? My dad was an alcoholic, and my mom had an undiagnosed mental illness. I really didn't get the emotional support I need. I really didn't feel like they understood me or could give me the things that I needed to flourish. I mean, it's not that it was all bad. There was some really good things about growing up in my life. Definitely, we lived all over the world, had some amazing experiences. But the main thing I was kept looking for this validation. I kept looking for this place that I belonged, that I fit in, that I felt like I was connected. And so when I didn't get that in my family, of course, that's a sense of helplessness and a feeling of overwhelm as that continued on in my early years. So, of course, as I got older, I realized, okay, there's, therapy, and there's self-help books. And of course, I took all the workshops. I went on spiritual journeys. So after I'd learned all that stuff, I actually started coaching others in this kind of same useless stuff. And why I say that is because here I was, these things are supposed to work and they're doing, and maybe they'd fix a problem here and maybe they'd fix a problem there, but ultimately they didn't leave me whole. So I ended up at, my bottom, which is using distractions, using different types of addictions, having a whole bunch of empty encounters with people, just on an endless cycle of suffering and self-sabotaging and looking for answers that I couldn't find, and then feeling like I was so broken that there just was no possible way to be fixed and that no one would ever have an answer. And I was lonely and I was desperate and I just wanted the pain to end. I just wanted it to stop. So at my lowest point, I just couldn't go on anymore. I couldn't stand who I was, the pain of what I was feeling, and I couldn't see any way to make anything better. I felt like I had tried everything. And then just when I surrendered and I let go at the moment of the darkest part of my life, I had this epiphany. It was like a revelation. Maybe it was a gift from something even bigger than myself. And it felt like a key that unlocked the door, a final piece to the puzzle. Like I got it. I saw how I could use the same things that had brought me down to bring me back up. It was a truly inspiring and very exciting moment. I saw how the natural design of how our physical and emotional energetic makeup was easily transmutable. I just was on fire after that. I started studying everything on the human brain and learning that I could get my hands on. I studied psychology, physiology, behavior, chemistry, evolution, nature, and more. It was like I just plunged headlong into all of the things that I could find, and then I went into the things that most people didn't. I studied ancient healing methodologies, apprenticeships in South America and Africa and India, and I studied all these other Eastern philosophies and practices as well. It's like just finding, I knew that there was those things that needed to be put together. I studied, I experimented with conventional and alternative approaches to healing the mind, the body, and the spirit. I pretty well left no stone unturned, even went and tried and looked at things that seemed really kind of wacky to me at the time. But I finally found the pieces that came together and I saw the whole picture. And as a result, I was able to create a program that works on everyone who commits to using it, no matter what the issue. For the next 15 years, I used it. My clients used it. I refined it, tweaked it until it was simple, effective, powerful, reproducible, and for me, the bottom line is sustainable. I wasn't satisfied till I'd worked with people from all walks of life with every issue I could find and multiple age ranges. I wanted to make sure this was bulletproof, that if you spent your time and you took the time to do this, that it worked. I called it high-speed evolution. So I insisted it proved to have a better success rate than all the programs I'd taken and all the wasted all the money and time on, all the self-help books I read, all the workshops I attended. It had to succeed where talk therapy didn't, where alternative therapies didn't, and be the end point, not just another disappointment, leaving you feeling broken. All that. And it had to fit into everybody's busy lifestyle. I know that's really pushing for that stretch, right? The final test was when I used it to successfully heal myself from an incurable illness. Yeah, and I found that amazing too. So how about I teach you those 3 powerful things that you need to know to take charge of your life and attain personal freedom. Are you ready? Let's do it. So I'm going to list the 3 powerful things right now, and then we're going to go through each one of them in more detail. So I want to show you how to decrease overwhelm with 2 simple steps, how to avoid internal conflict and suffering, and why you are not your behaviors. Let's start with decreasing overwhelm with 2 simple steps. Overwhelm is the silent enemy that can keep you stuck without you knowing it. Understanding how you can decrease it, it's imperative in today's fast-paced electronic world. The vagus nerve is the master connector of the mind and the body. And many people have a stuck vagus nerve, meaning the response is stuck in a chemical fight or flight mode. So here's just a quick, you don't have to memorize any of this, but I just wanted to give you an idea. So the vagus nerve would be down here on the left-hand side, and you see it goes all the way from the top of the spine all the way down to the gallbladder. So it's all of those organs right there. It's pretty fascinating, and it's part of the parasympathetic nervous system. So to reset and help the vagus nerve to be more productive and healthy, there are two things you can do straight away. One, spend a few minutes exhaling longer than you inhale. You start with twice as long and work to go up even longer. So right now, if you just took an inhale and then go ahead and exhale longer. Do one more time. Take an inhale and then exhale. Now, you might already start to feel that working. The key is in the exhale length. You can do this as many times a day as you can. If you're feeling really stressed out and overwhelmed, you can just do it whenever. Do it through the nose, so you're not breathing through the nose and the mouth, just the nose. But at least try 4 times a day. And you can do 4 breaths, you can do 3 breaths, you can do 5 breaths. Obviously, the more you do, the faster you'll feel less overwhelmed. The faster your brain will feel more clear, the better you'll sleep, and the more physically healthy you will become. Because remember, that vagus nerve, which is called the wandering nerve, goes through your whole body and all your organs and your heart, and it makes a huge difference. Okay, next up is the master muscle. We tend to contract our bodies and minds when we're overwhelmed. It's an internal safety mechanism as well as response to too much stimulus. The contraction becomes chronic, it means shortening, and tells the body that we're dying. We're no longer flourishing or growing. When anything contracts, you think about things that die, they wither up, shrink, contract. Well, our muscles are no different. When they shrivel up, shrink, it tells our body that we are on the way out. One awesome way to give yourself a huge break and move forward towards expanding instead of contracting is to stretch the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle, obviously pronounced psoas, is the deepest muscle in the body, affecting our structural balance, our muscular integrity, flexibility, strength, range of motion, joint mobility, and organ function. So just like the vagus nerve being tied through many places in the body, the psoas really is a critical muscle as well. And you can see it here. It comes up under you ties your spinal cord all the way to that top of your leg bone down there. So it's big around, it's about as big as your wrist. It goes through the back, under the abdomen, all the way down to the leg, and it responsible for moving your leg forward, bringing your thigh forward. So it helps you spring into action, or it curls you up into a protective ball. It's connected to the diaphragm through connective tissue or fascia, which both affects our breath and our fear reflex. This is because the psoas is directly linked to our reptilian brain, and that's the most ancient anterior part of our brainstem and spinal cord. So, okay, how do you do this? You're going to do a laying down stretch. Stretching your psoas muscle laying down can be done on the floor, but it works best on the edge of a training table or a bed. You're going to lay on your back towards the end of the bed or the table so that your butt's right on the edge. And allow one leg to hang off the edge as you grab the other knee with both hands. You can pull your knee towards your chest as far as you can and hold it for about 15 seconds. Repeat the stretch 4 times or as long as you feel no pain. Now, for some of us, just hanging the leg down without pulling the other leg up will work. So wherever it is you are, because, I was so tight, just laying on a hard surface stretched my psoas. Literally laying on the floor, I would feel that stretch because I spend a lot of time sitting, a lot of time on my computer like a lot of people do, or driving. And also the rest of the time is spent on these really soft, cushy couches and cushy surfaces. And those aren't really good for us. So do spend time on some hard surfaces. Okay, so the psoas muscle, do that. The vagus nerve, do that. Now let's talk about how to avoid internal conflict and suffering. You'd think, wow, how do I do that? Well, the main reason we have internal conflict is because we lie to ourselves and others. Really, that is one of the biggest reasons for that we can do anything about anyway. because our internal conflict causes our suffering. We live in a dishonest world. When I teach humanitarian practices to middle school kids, I have a segment called The Value of Truth in a Dishonest World. I tell them everyone wants them to tell the truth, however, there is no one to role model. The look on their faces is priceless because they know that I'm telling the truth. When we lie, we're telling our subconscious mind we cannot trust ourselves, that we are dishonest. When we lie, we promote dis-ease in our body, and that's internal conflict. Once we don't trust ourselves, we don't dare trust others. And this sets us up for a series of consequences for our survival because we're created to be tribal. And if we can't trust anybody, what are we going to do? So I'm not even talking about big lies. I'm talking about all lies, even the ones to yourself like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to work out, or I'm not going to eat any donuts. So I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about how many lies you tell a day. And it's pretty shocking most of the time. Maybe you're not even aware of it. Maybe you're just doing it so habitually, which is what happens, that you don't even know. But I want you to take a guess right now. How many lies do you think we hear daily? Just take a stab at it. Throw out a number. Got one? Are you ready? Humans are lied to as many as 200 times a day. 200 times a day. So social psychologist Gerald Gelson of the University of Southern California published that figure in his book in 1977. The book's entitled, I'm Sorry, I Didn't Mean to, and Other Lies We Love to Tell. So the hard-to-believe figure, which of course includes the many innocent white lies we hear each day, was given further credence in 2002 in a study by Robert Feldman of the University of Massachusetts, well, let's say all that 3 times, who found that on the average, people told 2 to 3 lies in a 10-minute conversation. 2 to 3 lies every 10-minute conversation. So it's no wonder we have a hard time trusting ourselves and others, because the reality is we are looking for the truth. We want to feel confident. We want to feel like we know what's going on. That's how we feel safe. So I want you to take the next 4 days and see if you can stop lying to yourself. Extra points if you're not lying to others, even if you think you're doing it for them, right? Because 25% of our lies are for other people's benefits, and I think that's actually pretty funny if you think about that. And I have to say, once I got clear and honest, especially with myself, the ease in my life increased about 100-fold. Yeah, I hear all the good reasons you think it isn't a good idea to be honest. I heard that from the kids. They said being honest isn't safe. Being honest means that you might be mean or hurt other people's feelings. There was all sorts of things that they told me, right? But the reality is it's just plain scary to put it all out there. It takes a lot of vulnerability. So, and finally, I'd like to tell you why you are not your behaviors and why that's super cool. So you know all those labels you have about your personality? All those things that we try on to see where we fit in life and to understand ourselves. And my gosh, how many quizzes are there on what kind of personality type are you and stuff like that, right? Are you introverted, left brain, empath, sensitive Scorpio, a 7 in the Enneagram, outgoing, class clown, serious, reflective, lazy, overachiever? All of these things, they're actually strategies and programs. Now, I understand that might be a little tough to take in. Bear with me here. Most of the way we react to things is just a strategy. And like I said, I know some of you are resistant to hearing me on this because you've spent a lot of time, maybe even a lot of money, who knows what, getting to the bottom of who am I? We develop strategies or behaviors as kids to fit in or to survive. Some of these are as nature intended, to create bonds with our families and emulate their behaviors. Our brains are complex and they're built with a structure to do just that. Their whole purpose is to pattern and program. That's what they're designed for. 98% of the decisions that you think you're making from free will are actually being made behind the scenes in your subconscious mind. 98% of your decisions that you believe you're making in your best interest or free will are a program. It's the subconscious mind, a job to keep you safe. And the truth is, it relies on past information, not present time situations. Do you ever wonder why you might do the same thing again and again, and even though you know it's not good for you, you keep doing it and you're doing it, you know it's not working for you, but there you are back again. So your subconscious mind permanently stores everything that's ever happened to you. Believe it or not, everything that's ever done or been there, you've seen, whatever, is stored in there, even if you don't think you can find it. It also retrieves data. Its job is to ensure that you respond exactly the way you are programmed. All your habits of thinking and acting are stored in your subconscious mind. It has memorized all your comfort zones, and it works to keep you safe in them. Your subconscious mind causes you to feel emotionally and physically uncomfortable whenever you attempt to do anything new or different or to change any of your established patterns of behavior. Even thinking about doing something away from what you're used to will make you feel nervous. So the behaviors you have are actually operating from programs. And a whole bunch of those programs and patterns may not even be in alignment with who you really are. Even addiction is a strategy, not a disease or who you are. Some of you might take exception to that. But having worked with lots of people with addiction in that way, it's fairly easy to move that along. So why is this good news for you, that you really are not your behaviors? It's good news because you're really all things human. You have way more scope and breadth than you're experiencing right now. You can be like, I'm an extrovert and introverted, organized and spontaneous, creative and analytical, and so are you. You don't have to be pigeonholed into this category because, or this one place because of these things that you're doing, your behaviors and strategies and the way you've been programmed since before you were even born. How about finding who you are? So to experience true personal freedom, you need to learn to remove the old programs and bring in the present time. Bring in the new things, the things that work for you. Now, that doesn't mean every program that you have in you is something you want to get rid of. There are many things that are very purposeful, right? Okay, but moving the old stuff, and you all know that there are that stuff, you can do that. You can do that. And no, it's not the old 21 days to a new habit is not accurate. I can tell you about that some other time. Removing patterns and programs is as easy as identify the pattern, change in the dynamic of the pattern, add the new pattern, and repeat. And this is how it works. That's how your brain does it in the beginning, and that's how we get out of it the same way. And changing in the dynamic of the pattern means not in the aha moment, I get it, but actually while you're doing it, change to something else. Most people stop at having a revelation about something they're doing, and they never take any action behind that. You know what I'm talking about? Like you go, oh, yeah, I know, I got it. Oh, wow, yeah, I got it. And then what happens? Okay, so I've taught you 3 powerful things that you must know to take charge of your life and attain personal freedom. And I don't know why I have a question mark on that. Because I just did. 1, 2 steps to decrease overwhelm. 2, stop internal conflict by getting honest. And 3, you're not your behaviors, and you can simply change old patterns and programs. Simply. All right, so you're at your computer watching this webinar. You've heard these 3 powerful things you must know, and you know that moving past the things that are holding you back is critically important. So if you're someone who's committed to finally getting unstuck or stop holding back from all the great things waiting for you in your life, in your love, in abundance, all these amazing things, you might be wondering, how can you implement the strategies I just showed you? And even more than those, simply, effectively, sustainably, and successfully. Well, the powerful strategies I've just shown you are just part of the exact system that I've used to heal from past emotional and physical trauma, to reprogram my patterns, my behaviors, change them for success, and to make courageous decisions that make me wake up every day and be incredibly grateful. So if you'd like me to help you implement those strategies that I've taught you here and the many more that I have up my sleeve that will enable you to create changes naturally, I would be so thrilled and honored to do so. So here's how we're going to go about doing that, all right? Right now I'm going to show you how it all works. I have a really successful and proven program called Your Life Unleashed, The Secrets to Living in Action, Passion, and Purpose. It's a 6-month online, highly interactive experience done with a group of like-minded people who come from all walks of life and live all over the world. I'll guide you through the practices and the systems that have changed my life and thousands of others in a clear and simple to follow format. You'll walk the path to your personal freedom and authenticity, the path to your personal truth. If you want to recognize the patterns and programs that are holding you back, if you want to have simple practices that move you out of stuck places, if you want to remove past trauma out of your life, and if you want to get clear about self-sabotage, and if you want to become deeply aware of your innermost self, and finally let go of those fears that are keeping you in a state of anxiety, and you want to do all this simply, effectively, and using what I call micro practices that only take a few minutes a day and fit into anyone's lifestyle, then this program is specifically for you. Every other week, we'll explore a practice that reveals places you're holding back or stuck so you can start to make changes to break those programs that no longer serve you. Each practice is simple, and it can easily fit into your day so you can be successful. On the weeks where we have no content call, I'll be available on a Q&A call so you can get your questions answered that might come up during your practices. Now, let's consider that kind of extra coaching so you can move forward confidently. We'll meet on a secret forum so I can further guide you on your journey, and you can seek accountability with me or others so you can get more benefit from the program. Because being in tribe, that's really an important thing for us as people. I'll also offer you a half-hour one-on-one coaching time with me at the beginning of the program so you can get right to work and get more rapid results. So remember, this is the same method I used to recover from childhood trauma, move past PTSD, leave low self-esteem in the dust, make $1 million by 24, build a life others dream about, find lasting true love, and heal impossible physical issues. Same thing. And when you join us and do the practices, you'll achieve outstanding results. I have no doubt about that. And that's why I would love for you to join us. Join us at Your Life Unleashed, which we're about to start here on July 9th. And as you know, you're probably wondering, okay, all right, what's this going to cost me? And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It's just $97 a month for 6 months. And why is that such an incredible deal? Because I have a goal to positively impact 1 million people to live courageous lives. And I want everyone to get benefits and power from this type of program. So Your Life Unleashed, The Secrets to Living in Action, Passion, and Purpose. And you can enroll by clicking the link below right now. I know you understand the importance of taking action right now as I limit this group to only 30 people, as I'm really involved in it. I'm very hands-on. I'm on the forum. I really care about what's going to go on, and I need to bring only that amount of people because I have quality that I want to bring to the program. It does sell out. It also starts July 9th, which is right around the corner. You can rest assured you're making a great decision, as you can stop the program anytime by giving me 15 days notice before the next payment is due. If you're not receiving value, then I'm really not happy either. But the bonus ebook and the half-hour one-on-one coaching call in the beginning are yours no matter what. So to recap that, you'll be getting twice a month 60-minute group coaching calls revealing a practice of Your Life Unleashed and integration steps. Twice a month, you'll be getting group Q&A calls where I'll answer all your questions. You'll receive inspiration and tips from me to deepen your practice throughout on the group that we hang out on. There's a secret group forum where we hang out, get accountability, as well as additional coaching. If I see you doing something, you're writing there, I'm like, hey, think about this, try this. You have bonuses. You've got 2 half-hour personal coaching calls with me, a free downloadable copy of my Conscious Breath ebook, which is a foundational tool we'll be using. All the calls are recorded so you can listen to them live or on your own schedule, and special MP3s to assist in your transformation along the way. So right now, you understand the immense value of a program that will teach you how to remove programs that are running your life without your conscious knowledge. You understand changing patterns is important if those patterns are keeping you stuck and are holding you back. Also, healing past trauma and anxiety or depression. Getting clear about your values, your needs, and your truths. Recognizing the difference between triggers, truths, and intuition. By the way, most people believe they can rely on their intuition, not realizing that they're actually triggers. I know you understand that if you're not wowed by the results you're getting, you can stop the program and the payments anytime within 15 days notice before the next billing cycle. And that this is limited to only 30 people and filling up. That's right, go to the link below, get signed up right away. And after you sign up, you'll be taken to a thank you page with further details. And I'll be checking to make sure you're all squared away and ready to go. I want to thank you for your time today and your trust. And I hope that you learned something from me that will help you move forward towards a more fulfilling life. I'm looking forward to serving you in the upcoming program. And in the meantime, go and be amazing. Oh, P.S. If the program's full, don't worry, I'll send you an email and you can get on the waiting list for next year. Go ahead and click below and get enrolled now.